So, quiet. If two lines are perpendicular, their slopes have to be opposites, positive and negative, and they got to be reciprocals of each other. So they just call that negative reciprocals. So to tell whether or not two lines are parallel, you got to find their slopes, which that's what we're going to be doing today, just like we did the parallel. We're going to find their slopes, see if they're perpendicular. And then the next lesson is we're going to write equations of perpendicular lines, just like the one we just corrected. So for today, we'll just do the slope stuff. So they've got line J1 and line J2. It might be hard to see. So to find the slopes, they give us points here, but you don't need to use those points. You can, because it's y minus y. Remember, slope is the rise over the run. So remember, you got to do the y's first. So 6 minus 0 is 6. 5 take away 2 is 3, which would simplify to 6 over 3 is
3.
Close, 2.
Yes!
Now, like I said, if you got a graph of it, you don't have to use the points. You can. You could just pick any 2 points where you know they cross. I know it goes through there and there. My rise is 2, my run is 1. 2 over 1 is 2. So on this one, I could pick any 2 points, here and here, or I could subtract y minus y, x minus x. But this slope, to go from here to here, goes down 1. So that's negative, and over 2. So, are they perpendicular? Yep. One's positive, one's negative, and they're reciprocals. So you can just put the symbol for perpendicular. So here they don't have the drawing of the lines, they just have the equations. So to figure out if the lines are perpendicular, you need to find the slopes. So this goes back to your algebra stuff. In order to find your slope, you want to put it in y equals mx plus b form, which means get the y by itself. So here, we've got to move the 3x over, right? And to keep it in this form, you'd want to put it in front of this number. So you'd have negative 2y equals, this would change from positive 3x to minus 3x. And then there's a plus 1. Then what do you got to do? Divide by negative 2. And you got to do that to everything. So all we're worried about this equation would be negative 3 over negative 2 is positive 3 halves x. Positive 1 over negative 2 is minus 1 half. We're not worried about the intercept, we just want the slope. So then we got to do the same thing here. Get the y by itself, so move the 6x over. So we would have 9y equals, this would change to negative 6x plus 3. Then we've got to divide by 9, divide by 9, divide by 9. And again, we don't really care about that. But so it's y equals negative 6 over 9 is negative what? 2/3. Plus a third. So this slope is negative 2/3. So would they be perpendicular? Yes. Positive 3 halves, negative 2/3. They're reciprocals, so that would be yes. So again, hopefully there's one of these that's not. This slope is just up 1 over 1, and I'm back on the line. So this slope is 1. This slope is down 1 over 1. Negative 1. Yes, they are. 1 and negative 1 are, 1 is the only number that's a reciprocal of itself. So those would be perpendicular. When we take this test next Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever on these 2 sections, probably be Wednesday. You have a part of a test where you have pictures like this. And they have numbers on them, and you gotta say whether the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Now, believe it or not, I'll go through this on the review. Every year I've given this test, there's always been someone that if there's a picture like this, they'll put the answer as perpendicular, or if there's a picture like this, they'll put the answer as parallel.
Why is that?
I don't know why, I've never been able to figure it out. On your test, you're gonna have pictures like this,
Figure it out.
and you gotta say whether or not the two lines are parallel, which obviously these aren't, or perpendicular, which they might be, or neither. Now, like I said, every year on this test, there's always someone that sees a picture like this and they'll say that they're parallel. So hopefully your guys' class is the first one that won't mess that up.
We will be.
So, on this one,
Wait, how do you, oh, never mind.
here, we already know this slope is -3 because it's y equals mx plus b. But this one, we've got to rearrange. So you got to get the x to the other side, so it would be 2y equals, this would change to -6x plus 8. Then you got to divide everything by 2. So y equals, what's -6 over 2? -3x plus 4.
They're not, because it's.
They're not perpendicular, they're parallel, right? So since we're asking if they're perpendicular, you would just say no. Okay?
Hey.